So good evening beta, welcome back. Today we will discuss about the heating effect of current or heating effect of electric current. How does the electrical appliances gets heated up? So beta, we consider or let us consider a current I. A current I is flowing through a conductor with the help of a potential difference V applied across the ends of the conductor, and let the time for this flow is suppose T, and the conductor is also offering a resistance R. Then what we can say, that work done in moving the charge Q through a potential difference of V will be what? So I am writing here the work done in moving a charge Q through a potential difference V through a potential difference V will be what it will be, since we have studied the potential difference. What was that? The potential difference V is the rate of flow of charge or work done. Sorry, it is not this. It is the amount of work to be done on the charge Q. So what will be the work done? So what I am writing here, the work done in moving a charge Q through a potential difference V will be, I can write it here like this, the work done will now become as W is equals to VQ. Now this amount of work is done to flow a charge or to move a charge Q in a conductor having a resistance of R for time T with a potential difference of V. Now the source in which the current is flowing or through which the current is flowing, the source must also supply the same energy of VQ in the same time T. So what we can write here now, the source must supply equal energy to VQ in the time T. Hence what we can say, the power input to the circuit by the source will be, so I can write here, so the power input to the circuit by the source will be, I can write here, will be suppose P, capital P power. So capital P power, and this will be equals to what we can write here, VQ upon time T, because this much work is done, VQ is work is done in the time T. So I can write it like this, power equals to V multiplied by Q upon T. Now what is Q upon T? It is the rate of flow of charge Q, and we have studied that rate of flow of charge is the current. So I can write it like this. So this becomes VI. So we can write P equals to VI. Or we can also say that the energy required or supplied to the circuit by the source in time t, we can write it the energy supplied to the circuit, the energy supplied to the circuit by the source in time t is given by power multiplied by time. Power multiplied by time. So now what we can write it, that the energy supplied to the circuit can be written as the energy E, suppose, will be equals to power. Power is VI. So this is VI and the time T. So this much energy is supplied to the circuit by the source. So what actually happens to this energy? Where does this energy goes? This energy is dissipated in the register of the appliances as the heat. So we can write here that this energy is actually dissipated as heat energy. So we can write here, in the place of energy, we can write heat energy will be equals to VIT. So this is the heating effect of current, and this was given by James Joule. So what he said, that the heat energy produced in any appliance is directly proportional to the square of the current flowing through the conductor and directly proportional to the potential difference and directly proportional to the time for which the current is flowing in the conductor. So we got this. Now what we can see here, that the heat energy was equals to VIT. Now according to Ohm's law, what we know, that we can replace this V by IR. So I can write here H equals to, in place of V I will write IR, and it will be I and T. So this will become H equals to I square R T. Similarly, if I replace this I by the Ohm's law, then this V and I will be equals to V upon R. V upon R and time T. So this heat energy will now become V square T upon V square T upon R. So what the Joule's law of heating effect states was this. This we can write is the Joule's law of heating effect. This is the Joule's law of heating effect. as I told you that the heat energy produced in any conductor is directly proportional to the square of the current, and heat energy is directly proportional to the resistance of the conductor, and heat energy is also directly proportional to the time. If more current will flow in a conductor, more heat will be produced, and if the conductor has more resistance, then also the heating effect will be more. And if for more time we are applying the potential difference and the current is flowing through it, then also the heat will be more. Let us now solve a very simple numerical problem based on the heating effect of the current. So now let us consider this example. Suppose an electric iron has a resistance of 20 ohms and a 5 ampere current is flowing through it for a time of 30 seconds. So we are asked to find out how much heat energy is developed in this electric iron. So we can write, since what we know that the heating effect according to the Joule is equals to I square R and T, and we are given all the three values here. So we can very easily put these values here. So the current I is of 5 ampere. Let we do the square here, and the resistance is of 20 ohms and the time is of 30 seconds. So what we get here, this heat is 25 multiplied by 20 multiplied by 30, and the unit of heat energy is Joule. So this heat energy will become 25 to 2 times 50 and 53 times 150. So 150 and 10 again. So this will be 15,000 Joule. 25 to 50, this 50, and 50 into 3, 150, and 2 zeros, that means total 3 zeros. Clear? So this much amount of Joule energy will be released. So I can write here 15 kilojoule of energy will be produced. So now we will study some practical applications of heating effect of electric current. Practical applications. Practical applications. Of heating effect of current. So now what we can see here, that we have observed the electric bulb, that is, in the old times you must have seen the Surya bulb. That bulb, when that bulb gets heated, when the current flows through it and it heats up, and after heating only it glows and emits light, because its resistance is very high, and in that heat some metals may also melt. So a special metal, tungsten, is used in it, because the melting point of the tungsten is 3380 degree Celsius. So in this heat the tungsten survives, and moreover, for the prolonged life of that bulb, inside the bulb and inert nitrogen or argon gas were also filled, because when they comes in contact with the air they may get oxidized, and to prevent from this oxidation the inert gas such as nitrogen and argon gas were filled in it. Similarly, another application we might have observed in our homes is that of electric fuse. The electric fuse must be of high resistance and of low melting point, because when a large amount of current flows through it, then the required amount, then it must melt and it should be blown off. For this, we can take the fuse wire which is made up of alloys. It may be of aluminium, copper, tin, lead, iron, etc. So we are using the alloys in place of just simple copper wire, because for making the fuse must be of high resistance and of low melting point, because when the current flows through this fuse wire, that must melt when the current is over. So to prevent the short circuit also, we should use the appropriate fuse which are available in the market. In the market, the ratings of fuse are found in the form of ampere, that is, we can say 1 ampere, 2 ampere fuse, 3 ampere, 5 ampere, 10 ampere, or 32 ampere, or 64 ampere, and there are also lots of fuse available in the market. Now suppose, how can we find out that which type of or which ampere fuse can be used for the particular circuit in our home? For example, we can say, suppose we are using an electric iron, and the electric iron has a resistance of suppose 1000 ohms, and or we can say the power of the electric iron is 1000 watt, and it is working on a 220 volt line. Then how can we find out the current, that how much current will it use? So we have seen here that the power of the electric iron P is equals to 1000 watt is the power, and the potential difference on which it works, it is of 220 volt. Then we have to find out the current. So how much current will this be? So the current will be power upon potential difference, and that will be equals to 1000 upon 220 ampere. So when we calculate this current, we will find out it is of 4.54 ampere. So this much of current the electric iron will consume. So for this we have to use an fuse of 5 ampere. So with this fuse, if the consumption of the current will be more than 5 ampere, then this fuse will get melted, and we say that the fuse blows off. So the next we will now study the electric power. What we can see here, that electric power means the rate at which the electric energy is dissipated or consumed in an electric circuit is called as electric power, and we can denote it by capital P. So it can be denoted by capital P. As we have studied in the heating effect, that we can write power P is equals to VI. P equals to VI. Similarly, if we change this V according to Ohm's law, then in place of V, if we will place IR, then this equation will change to this: power equals to IR multiplied by this I, and this will become power equals to I square R. So we can use this equation also for calculating the power. Similarly, if I change this I current in terms of potential difference, then power will become V and V upon R. So I can write power equals to V square upon R. This will become the third equation for calculating the power. Now, a very simple question generally asked in the examination, that this equation is also for power and this equation is also for power, then what is the use of both this? As we can see here, the resistance is provided, and we know that in series combination the resistance is the sum of all the resistance. So this formula for power is used for calculating the power when the resistances are connected in series, and this formula is mainly used when the resistance are connected in parallel. As we know that for calculating the parallel resistance, we find it out by 1 upon R net is equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3, like this. So this is the main difference for these two powers. The SI unit of power is, the SI unit of power is watt and denoted by capital W. So this is the SI unit of power. Now we will define 1 watt power. So what we can say about the 1 watt power, that it is the amount of power, or it is the power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current when operated at a potential difference of 1 volt. So by this definition, what we can write it like this: 1 watt of power is equal to 1 volt of potential difference multiplied by 1 ampere of current. 1 ampere of current. So I can write here 1 watt will be equals to 1 volt ampere. This is 1 watt. Now this watt, it is a very small unit. The other bigger units are, for example, kilowatt. 1 kilowatt. 1 kilowatt means 1000 watt, or we can write 10 to the power 3 watt. Similarly, other bigger unit is 1 megawatt. That means 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. That means unit 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, 10,000, 100,000, lakh. 1 lakh watt, or we can simply write it 10 to the power 6 watt. These are the bigger units of watt. Now the commercial unit of power, in which the energy is sold or purchased, that was actually set up by the Board of Trade Union, and that unit of power is called as kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour. That is kilowatt hour. This is the unit in which the power is sold or purchased. In our electrical meter, we can see that how much units of electrical energy is consumed. This is shown by unit. We generally say that this much of unit of electrical energy is consumed by us this month. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 unit. This is the unit which was given by Board of Trade Union, and it is the commercial unit of power. Now, how much joule of energy does this 1 kilowatt hour means? Let us calculate this also. So, in 1 kilowatt hour, we have to calculate how much energy of joules is there. So 1 kilowatt means we can write very easily 1000 watt, and hour, 1 hour, we know it very easily, it is of 3600 seconds. So if we multiply both this, then we can see 3600 and these 3 zeros, watt and second. Now 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and watt means joule per second, and this second, these both cancels out. So we can write it as 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joule of energy. Or we can also write it like this: 3600 kilojoule. Or we can also write it like this: 3.6 megajoule. Or we can also write it like this: 3.6 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 6 joule. So all these are the result of this 1 kilowatt hour.